Every problem that walks into your life is not there to break you. It is there to introduce you to a version of yourself you have not met yet. We often ask, why me? But a better question is, what can this teach me? Because life does not grow us in comfort. It educates us in challenges. When everything is going well, we remain the same. But when things fall apart, something new is being prepared within us. Problems are not roadblocks. They are classrooms. And each lesson is shaping your character, your vision, and your future. You see, pain has a strange power. It strips away excuses and reveals truth. When you face difficulty, you are forced to pause, reflect, and rethink your direction. That pause is powerful. That silence is creative. In that moment, life is asking you to redesign yourself, your habits, and sometimes even your dreams. Education is not only found in books or classrooms, it is found in heartbreaks, failures, delays, and disappointments. Those experiences teach you patience, empathy, and resilience far better than success ever could. Acceptance does not mean giving up. Acceptance means understanding the reality of where you stand, so you can move forward with clarity. When you stop asking life to be easy and start asking yourself to be stronger, transformation begins. The moment you accept your problem, you take back your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming a creator of solutions. That shift in mindset is education at its highest level. Creativity is often born when options are limited. When one door closes, you are forced to build a new one. Problems push you to think differently, to innovate, to explore abilities you never knew you had. Many people discover their purpose only after their plans collapse. That is because destruction makes space for construction. When something breaks, it creates room for something new to exist. Resilience is not about being unbreakable. It is about learning how to rebuild yourself every time you break. Each problem strengthens your emotional muscles. Each failure trains your mind to adapt. Each setback teaches you endurance. This is a skill you develop daily by choosing hope over helplessness, action over fear, and learning over complaining. Strength is not a gift, it is a practice. And remember this deeply, your struggle is not wasted. One day, someone will survive because you did not give up. Your story, your scars, and your journey will become a source of courage for others. When you turn your problems into wisdom, you turn your pain into service. That is how problems become opportunities, not only to create something new in your life, but to inspire change in the lives of others. So do not curse your problems. Study them, learn from them, grow through them, because every problem is carrying a seed. And if you nurture it with patience, faith, and courage, it will grow into something greater than you ever imagined. When a problem enters your life, your first reaction is resistance, fear, anger, sometimes even shame, and that reaction is human. But listen carefully, that problem did not come to punish you, it came to invite you into growth. It came to ask you a question about who you are becoming, not to accuse you of who you were. Life does not randomly choose people to suffer. Life chooses people who are strong enough to transform suffering into wisdom. And if you are facing something heavy today, it means you are being trusted with a lesson that can elevate you. Problems are not enemies, they are messengers. And every messenger carries meaning. If you are brave enough to listen instead of running away. You see, when everything is smooth, you stay asleep, you stay comfortable, you repeat the same habits, the same thoughts, the same excuses. But when a problem shakes your world, it wakes you up. It forces you to look at yourself honestly. It forces you to ask uncomfortable questions. It forces you to break patterns that were quietly limiting you. That discomfort is not cruelty, it is guidance. The problem is saying, grow here, evolve here, become better here. And the moment you understand this, your mindset changes from why is this happening to me to what is this trying to build in me. Think about this deeply. If problems were meant to destroy you, you would not still be standing. The fact that you are breathing, thinking, searching for answers means there is strength inside you that you have not fully accessed yet. Problems invite that strength to come forward. They introduce you to your patience, your courage, your faith, your creativity. They show you muscles you never had to use before. And yes, it hurts. Growth always hurts. But pain with purpose is never wasted. Advice that saves lives is simple but not easy. Stop treating your problems like insults and start treating them like teachers. A teacher does not hate you because the lesson is hard. A teacher challenges you because you are capable of learning more. When life gives you a problem, it is saying you are ready for the next level, but the next level requires a stronger mindset, a deeper understanding, and a wider heart. That is why problems arrive before breakthroughs, not after them. There is power in pausing and observing your problem instead of reacting emotionally. Ask yourself what this situation is revealing about you, where you need healing, where you need discipline, where you need boundaries, where you need faith. This is how you turn struggle into strategy. This is how pain becomes preparation. This is how ordinary people become resilient souls. And remember the truth that echoes through every story of strength, including the journey of Muniba Mazari. The problem is never bigger than the purpose it serves. It only feels heavy because it is shaping you for something meaningful, something deeper, something that requires a stronger version of you. So instead of shrinking, stand still, breathe, and let the lesson unfold inside. Pain changes you, whether you like it or not, but the direction of that change is always your choice. And this is where purpose is born. Most people try to escape pain, hide it, deny it, or rush through it, but pain does not disappear when ignored. It only deepens when you sit with it, when you allow yourself to feel it without self-pity. Something powerful begins to happen. Pain starts speaking. It shows you what matters. It shows you what needs healing. It shows you what you were tolerating that you should never have accepted. Pain is not meaningless noise. It is information. And wise people learn how to listen. You may feel broken, but broken things let the light in. Pain strips away illusions. It removes fake strength and replaces it with real resilience. When everything is taken away, what remains is your truth, and that truth, though painful, is the foundation of purpose. Purpose is not born in comfort, it is born in survival. It is born when you realize you cannot go back to who you were, so you must grow into someone new. That transition hurts, but it also empowers. Advice that transforms lives is this: do not rush to heal just to look strong. Heal to become strong. Pain teaches empathy, and empathy gives your life meaning. When you have suffered, you stop judging people so easily. You become softer without becoming weak. You understand silent battles. That understanding is purpose. That awareness is power. That depth is what separates people who merely exist from people who impact lives. Look closely at your pain and you will find direction hidden inside it. If you were betrayed, your purpose may involve teaching boundaries. If you were abandoned, your purpose may involve becoming emotionally independent. If you were broken physically or emotionally, your purpose may be to show others how to rise anyway. Pain always leaves clues. It points toward the work you are meant to do in this world. That is why the people who heal the most hearts are often the ones who have had their own hearts shattered. You are not weak because you are hurting. You are human. Strength is not pretending everything is fine. Strength is waking up every day and choosing not to give up despite the ache. Pain matures you faster than success ever will. It sharpens your priorities. It forces you to stop wasting time on things that do not matter. It teaches you to protect your energy and invest it where it truly counts. Think of pain as raw material. On its own, it is heavy and chaotic, but when shaped with patience and awareness, it becomes purpose. This is not motivation, this is education of the soul. When you align your pain with meaning, it no longer controls you, it fuels you. Your scars become proof, not shame. Your tears become testimony, not weakness. This is why stories like that of Muniba Mazari resonate so deeply. Because pain did not end her story. It authored her purpose, reminding you that what tried to break you can become the very reason you rise, speak, create, and serve if you stop asking for the pain to leave and start asking what it is preparing you for. Acceptance is not surrender. And this is where many people misunderstand life. Acceptance is clarity. Acceptance is courage. Acceptance is the moment you stop bleeding from fighting reality and start healing by understanding it. When something painful happens, your mind immediately starts negotiating with life, wishing it were different, replaying the past, imagining alternate endings, but all of that drains your energy. Acceptance does not mean you like what happened. It means you recognize what happened, and that recognition is power. The moment you accept where you are, you stop wasting strength on denial and start using it for growth. Most suffering does not come from the problem itself. It comes from resisting the truth of the situation. You exhaust yourself arguing with reality, asking why this happened, blaming yourself or others. And in that emotional chaos, growth becomes impossible. Acceptance calms the inner noise. It grounds you. It allows you to stand still long enough to see clearly. Only when you see clearly can you move wisely. Acceptance is the first intelligent response to pain. Advice that changes lives is this: stop waiting for life to apologize before you move forward. Life owes no explanations, but it offers lessons every day. When you accept what is, you unlock the ability to change what can be changed. Denial keeps you stuck. Acceptance sets you in motion. This is not weakness, this is maturity. Children complain about storms, adults learn how to walk in the rain. Acceptance teaches responsibility. When you accept your reality, you stop giving excuses and start taking ownership. You ask yourself what is within your control and what is not. You stop trying to fix everything at once and begin with yourself. This is where real change begins. You cannot build a future while fighting the present. You must stand where you are before you can walk forward. There is deep strength in saying, "This is my situation and I will grow from here." That sentence alone can change your mindset. Acceptance allows you to grieve properly, to feel your emotions without drowning in them. It gives you permission to be human without becoming helpless. When you accept, you stop pretending and start healing. Healing is honest work. It requires you to face discomfort without escaping it. Acceptance also opens the door to creativity. When you stop wishing things were different, your mind becomes free to ask new questions. What can I do now? What skills do I need? What mindset must I develop? This is where transformation happens. Growth does not come from perfect circumstances. It comes from adapting to imperfect ones. Many powerful journeys, including that of Muniba Mazari, begin at the moment of acceptance, when pain is no longer denied but embraced as part of the story, because acceptance does not erase the struggle. It gives meaning to it. It turns wounds into wisdom, fear into focus, and chaos into direction. And once you accept your reality fully, you stop being trapped by it and start rising through it. Crisis has a strange way of stripping life down to its essential. And when everything familiar collapses, creativity is forced to wake up. When your usual methods stop working, when the old paths disappear, are pushed into thinking differently. And this is not accidental. Creativity is not a luxury reserved for artists. It is a survival skill, and crisis is the environment where it is trained. When comfort leaves, imagination enters, because the mind refuses to stay empty. It looks for new ways, new answers, new possibilities. Most people do not discover their creative strength in ease. They discover it when they have no choice but to adapt. Crisis removes the illusion of control and replaces it with the necessity to innovate. You are forced to ask yourself questions you never asked before. How else can this be done? What have I been ignoring? What skill do I need to develop now? That pressure sharpens your thinking. It makes you resourceful. It pushes you beyond routine and into reinvention. Advice that can reshape your life is this: stop waiting for perfect conditions to create change. Perfect conditions rarely come. Progress is usually born in chaos. When life disrupts your plans, it is not ending your journey, it is redirecting it. Crisis does not mean you have failed, it means your current strategy has expired. And when a strategy expires, innovation begins. Look at how crisis exposes hidden abilities. You discover patience you did not know you had. You learn skills you never planned to learn. You build emotional intelligence by navigating uncertainty. Crisis demands creativity not only in what you do, but in how you think. You learn to simplify. You learn to prioritize. You learn to see value where you once saw obstacles. That shift in perception is creativity in its purest form. Creativity born in crisis is practical, not theoretical. It is grounded in reality. It solves real problems. It changes real lives. It teaches you that you are not limited by what you lost, but empowered by what you can still build. When doors close, you stop knocking and start building walls into windows. That is the mindset crisis develops if you allow it. Many people freeze in crisis because fear dominates their thoughts. But fear and creativity cannot coexist in the same space for long. When you choose action over panic, creativity gains room to breathe. Small actions matter. Experimenting matters. Trying again matters. Crisis does not ask for perfection, it asks for participation. Stories like that of Muniba Mazari remind you that when life breaks the old structure, it is often making space for a more meaningful design, one that aligns with who you are becoming, not who you were. And this is why crisis, though painful, can become the birthplace of purpose, innovation, and a future you never would have imagined if everything had stayed comfortable. Resilience is often misunderstood as something magical, like you are either born strong or you are not. But the truth is, resilience is built in moments when you feel weak and still choose to move forward. It is a skill learned through repetition, through falling and standing up again, through disappointment and decision. Nobody wakes up resilient one day. They become resilient by surviving days they thought would break them. Every hard moment is training you, whether you realize it or not. Resilience begins with small choices. Choosing to get out of bed when your heart feels heavy. Choosing to speak kindly to yourself when your mind is attacking you. Choosing to try again even when confidence is low. These choices may look ordinary, but they are powerful. Strength is not loud. Strength is quiet consistency. It is showing up even when motivation is gone. That is how resilience is practiced. Advice you must carve. Rai with you is this: stop waiting to feel strong before you act. Action creates strength, not the other way around. When you move despite fear, your nervous system learns courage. When you endure discomfort without escaping it, your emotional capacity expands. Resilience grows through exposure, not avoidance. Every time you face difficulty, instead of running from it, you upgrade your inner strength. Resilience also requires patience. You will not heal in a straight line. Some days you will feel powerful. Some days you will feel fragile. And both days are part of growth. Do not shame yourself for struggling. Struggle is not failure, it is evidence of effort. Resilient people are not those who never break down. They are those who know how to rebuild without giving up on themselves. Another powerful truth is that resilience is supported by perspective. When you see setbacks as permanent, resilience weakens. When you see them as temporary lessons, resilience strengthens. Your mind is your training ground. What you tell yourself during pain determines how long the pain controls you. Speak to yourself like someone worth saving. Resilience also grows when you ask for help without feeling ashamed. Strength does not mean doing everything alone. It means knowing when support is necessary. Connection heals. Community strengthens. Even the strongest people lean on others sometimes. That does not make you dependent. It makes you human. Journeys like that of Muniba Mazari remind you that resilience is not about avoiding suffering. It is about transforming suffering into wisdom, discipline, and inner stability. Built step by step, decision by decision, until one day you realize you are standing taller, not because life became easier, but because you became stronger through conscious effort, patience, and faith. Your story is not just yours, even when it feels deeply personal. Even when the pain feels private, it carries medicine for someone else who is silently bleeding. What you survive becomes language for those who cannot yet speak about their wounds. Many people believe healing is only about moving on, but real healing includes meaning. And meaning is born when your experience becomes useful beyond you. The moment you choose to rise, not just for yourself, but with awareness, your life turns into a message. You may not realize it, but someone is watching how you handle hardship. Someone is learning courage from your quiet endurance. When you speak honestly about your struggles, you give others permission to face their own. This is how healing spreads. This is how pain transforms into purpose. You do not need a stage, a microphone, or fame to change lives. Sometimes your survival alone is enough to save someone else. Advice that carries power is this: do not hide your scars out of shame. Scars are evidence of healing, not damage. When you pretend you were never hurt, you disconnect from others. When you share with wisdom, not bitterness, you build bridge. People do not need perfect examples. They need real ones. They need to see that brokenness does not disqualify you from becoming strong, kind, and impactful. Your story teaches resilience in ways theory never can. Someone who is drowning in doubt does not need motivation slogans. They need proof. Your lived experience is proof. Proof that pain does not have the final word. Proof that darkness can coexist with hope. Proof that falling is not the end of the journey. When you rise, even slowly, even imperfectly, you show others that rising is possible. There is responsibility in survival, not pressure, but purpose. When you understand that your journey can lighten someone else's burden, strength finds you on days you thought you had none. This is why people who turn their pain into service walk with a different kind of confidence. Their strength is rooted, not loud. Their words carry weight because they were earned through experience. Helping others does not mean reopening wounds carelessly. It means choosing wisdom over wounds. It means learning when to speak and when to stay silent. It means offering hope without minimizing pain. This balance is powerful. This balance is healing. When you master it, your presence alone becomes comforting to others. Stories like that of Muniba Mazari resonate across the world because they remind us that survival is not selfish, it is generous. That when you choose not to give up, you unknowingly become a lighthouse for people lost in stow. Aramis, you once survived. And in that moment, your pain is no longer just pain, it becomes guidance, courage. And light passed forward without force, without noise, just through truth lived fully.